Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. This is Big Ambitions. How are you doing today? We're going to take a trip across the bridge, and we're going to go over to Industry City today. I'm not entirely sure how much of the video will be spent in Industry City, but I'm going to be spending, at least throughout the process of recording this video, a considerable amount of time in Industry City, because it is time to make myself more resilient to the impacts of rivalries and to significantly increase my margin on things that I'm being attacked on. And specifically, I'd like to get myself a cheap jewelry factory, something where I can have a substantial supply of cheap jewelry coming in all the time without needing to import it anymore. And so I'm going to be spending time on that. And if I have time, I don't know how much I do because this is going to take a while. I might find something on the workshop for factories. It's possible. We'll see. There's not a lot going on there. There really isn't. But I have a location that I'd like to use, and I've rented it already. It's 24th Street. It's a big old one here. It's a P3, 23,508. And it's very close to factory supplies, so I can just kind of go back and forth there, and that's what I intend to do. So I've got a taxi here. I can go ahead and just kind of, hey, I want to go here, and it's only $17. See? It's pretty cheap. We just basically use taxis and teleport, assuming that they're there. This is a very big place, as you can see. We've got a lot of space here inside this area to work with, and so we're going to have a very large amount of machines happening through here. Hey, taxi, come here. Ah. Wow, he is just. Oh, okay, never mind. He had to stop. Otherwise, he was just like, no, man, I already have a fare. I ain't stopping for you. $18 to get there. So we're gonna be buying some stuff through here, or I'm gonna find something on the workshop. Give me a sec. Okay, so I hit the blueprint editor is where I basically went with this, and we have our input here, which is going to bring the cheap gems. And it lays out like this. There's a whole lot of laser cutters in here for this plan. We're going to make a lot of cheap jewelry with this. And it all comes out here. And this is kind of where the somewhat sensible nature of the factory building ends. This is kind of where common sense ends. This system has, as the current build is, and again, they're going to fix it later, but the current build for factories is so botched that in its core design that there is not a way to do something incredibly simple. I've tried for hours now to get this to happen in disbelief that I couldn't figure it out, and it's just not possible to do. So what I originally had was all the polished gems were going to come out this way, and then they were going to meet over into this area where they were going to be processed into consumer goods, and then the output station would take them. That's where I was going to go with it. After having the belt move its way around into this area and dinking around with this for such a long time, I realized that there was no way for me to get this resource over into these machines without being in everyone else's way. The fundamental flaw here is twofold. One, people have no way of crossing over belts. And two, products have no way of being sorted. I'll say it again. This is a factory system that has zero way to sort items. That's the problem. And that's the core problem that prevents this factory from being as optimal as it could be. Because as much as I fiddled around with my expensive stuff and got it to work and figured it out with a few extra employees, in order to get this to work, I would need 1.5 technically, but I would need essentially 2 employees per consumer assembly machine in order to make this work. And then I'd have to do it with this. The output station here is what I've ultimately come up with. This is another employee, and then this employee would take this, the items, the polished gems, it would take them and put them on a shelf, and then I would need employees stationed at all of these things, 1.5 technically, per station, so that they can wherever it ends up being dropped off, because you cannot sort things in shelves either, wherever that gets dropped off, they would have to go grab it and put it in these machines. And so then I'm like, this can't be. There's no way, dude. There's just no way that it's there. There has to be something very simple. Here's a very simple concept to break it down for you. If you haven't explored the factory system in a while, or in this game, or if you're just like, why doesn't he just do this? It's so simple. Just do a bus system. I've heard that so many times. I'm showing you why you can't do this. All right. Take a very simple task. You have a consumer goods machine here. Now, there are a lot of inputs. All the blue arrows are inputs, and the orange arrow is the output. You cannot change these. If I could change them, it might make a difference, but I don't think it does. We have 5 inputs on this machine, and it's because this machine is made to be compatible with every kind of consumer product in the game. So cell phones, which have 5 products or 5 things that need to be input into this machine to make a phone, it's compatible with that, but it also creates jewelry, which needs metal bands and the cheap polished jewelry. So we have 2 machines here, okay? I actually have 8. But what I wanted to figure out when I've been playing around with this, how do I connect? It seems like a very simple thing, I swear, but it's not possible. It's impossible to do. How do I connect the polished gems with its own dedicated input and the metal bands with their own dedicated input? 2 employees. How do I get 2 employees to feed both of their stuff into both of these machines? Just take a look at it. Maybe pause it. Try to, whip out your magic pencil on your iPad and try to draw lines, right? How do I get, you can position it anywhere you want. How do I get the inputs from each of these to go into both machines? So this one has to feed both machines, and this one has to feed both machines. Here's your restrictions. The supply belts for both of these cannot cross each other. And you cannot interfere with the output. The output also, you can't get in the way of the output belt. So you can't, I know what you're thinking, just put it on this side. You're going to get in the way of the output belt. Okay, we'll put the output belt further out and then that's the problem where trapping employees makes it not work anymore. You can't trap employees, you can't cross belts, and you can't get in the way of the output. So in other words, when this output belt goes this way, right, and sends things that direction, and how do you do it, right? If I wanted to put this in here, that's fine, but I also need to get this that way, right? That means I need a splitter. So we're gonna need 2 splitters on both of them, right? Or we need 1 splitter on each one, right? Okay. So 1 splitter on each one. Cool. So this one presumably would go into this side. That makes sense. This one has to go over here. Okay. Shouldn't be much of a problem, right? Let's brainstorm it. I know they're not perfectly spaced here, but let's just brainstorm it, right? So if I wanted to, let's say, bring this up and let's have this go into this side, all right? We're going to say it goes into that side, and probably to make this more easy to demonstrate, we're going to want to shift this over a little bit, I guess. So we will go like this really quick. So I'm just trying to demonstrate exactly why you can't do this. And it's such a restriction that has ultimately left me incredibly frustrated and not want to do factories anymore in this game. I just don't want to do any more factories. I'm tired of it now. And again, it's getting fixed in 10. I'm just being very critical of the current system so you know why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them. So, right. So let's say you have this and you get everything going over there. This is probably going to need to be straight right into there. Yeah. Okay. Done. We got this one hooked up. Now hook this one up to both machines. Remember, you can't cross belts. You can't get in the way of employee movement either. And you can't interfere with this export belt. Impossible. You can't do it. There's no sorting. Here's how the dev could fix this, okay? It is such a simple fix. You can put a small patch into the game and it completely changes factories and makes them viable, and it makes everything work. Ready? A 1 tile wide splitter. That's very important. I'm sick of this stupid splitter. A 1 tile wide splitter that sends 1 product one direction and 1 product another direction. And something that actually sorts stuff. Takes care of the whole problem. Everything's done. Is there a way to make this work anyway? With employees? Of course. Yeah, absolutely. You can make this work with employees. No problem. All I have to do is sell, right? If I just add more labor, I can solve every problem with more labor. I was just trying to automate this, right? And I'm ultimately going to end up putting labor in here because I still think I can it'll probably pay for itself even with the labor, right? I don't think it's necessary, but what you need is a minimum of 1.5 employees per station. Why do I say 1.5? Okay, so if I bring this over here, let's bring this a little more over. I want to give more room for this, right? If we take these like this, all right. So the one on the end, okay, the one on the end, let's say over here, he gets lucky because he just has to push things into one machine here. All right, and that's just the way that is. This guy can be set up over here with a splitter. This guy can be set up right here with a splitter. Okay, this feeds into both machines, and this feeds only into one because that's why it's got to be. I probably would put the metal bands here then, because the polished gems are not as readily available and easy to access as the metal stuff. I mean, maybe it is, but the metal bands are just on the shelf already in maximum quantity, where the polished gems are coming in. You know, okay, there we go. Now the output comes this way, and everybody's happy. You got 2 employees on this machine, and both things can get what they want. Well, not quite, because the polished gems are not getting in here. So how do we do that? How do we get the polished gems in there? Well, that's where the 1.5 comes in. So now you have the input station. We do the same thing on this side, okay, where we have the splitter, okay, and then this one here is now polished gems. So now polished gems are fed into this machine too from this one, and they're also being fed into here. I think you can see where this is going. Metal bands are now set up here, okay. So you end up with 1 employee for every 2 stations, and then the end stations have an extra 1 per. That is how we're going to do this factory. It's more expensive, but it's a very expansive factory. There's a lot more production going on here than my other 2 expensive jewelry. This factory, even with all these, like, it's a single factory, it will produce more gems than both of my expensive jewelry factories combined. It will do that. The output will work that way, I think, because we'll have I have 8 consumer electronics or 8 consumer assembly machines here. Well, I have 8. Yeah, so I guess it won't, right? Technically, it won't, because both of my expensive jewelry factories together are 5 each, so there's 10 total machines operating there, right? This one is 8, but the production time on these is like half. Or something like that. Isn't it half? I can't see the formulas here. Oh, yes, I can. There's a 15 minutes to produce. Yeah, 15 minutes on this one. It was 30 on the other one. So even though there are 8 machines here to the combined 10 from the other 2 expensive jewelry machines, the production times on these are half of what that other one is. So it's effectively the equivalent of having 16 of the other machines. So we're going to produce more. It requires more labor. The only annoyance is that it requires a lot more labor, and that's it. That's all it is. But it'll be fine. This is how we're going to do it. I just wish there was a way to sort stuff. I know it seems elementary. For a factory game, it is, but this is not technically a factory game. We have to remember this is factories added to a business game. So the scope of the project, right? Everything is kind of being added to help the scope of the project. And that's not necessarily where the dev was going initially, all right? I don't know exactly what Jonas, David, and team had in store for it initially. I'm imagining factories might be something that they kind of expanded to their vision and didn't quite think through all the way. I don't know that. I can actually push this a little further in, I think, just to kind of get it to, well, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, because the little thing is going to be in the way anyway. The pallets and everything are going to be in the way. So that's the solution. And then we put shelves everywhere, man. We just let them go nuts and we put shelves all over the place. I don't know if they'll be able to actually move. That might be still too close. So I think I will move 1 half tile over again. But the good news about this anyway is that it allows us to cross supplies, because employees can cross each other while they're walking. So I can have the polished gems put on shelves, and then all of the polished gem points throughout here will just be employees going and grabbing more polished gems. And that's really all it will be. Okay. So when we bring this into our game, this is going to be much more expensive to operate than the other factory, but the other factory is killing it, dude. So even though our margins are worse on this, ultimately it is saving me a lot more money than it's costing me, and that's the point. So I will set this up in its final form, and I'll show you it in the end. I'll be right back. So just making sure I got things set up correctly, I'm going to color code these things. So the polished gems are going to be the blue color, okay? And then we have the metal bands are going to be red. So it goes polished gems here, only feeding one machine. It can't feed both because the export's got to go somewhere. So export's over here. We got metal bands feeding into both machines here. Then we have the polished gems feeding into both machines here. Metal bands, both machines here. I got to put some belts there, but still same thing. And then we have polished gems here. Metal bands, polished gems, metal bands, polished gems. It looks fairly organized, I think. It looks fine, okay? And so we have this. So we wanted to eyedropper this one and put it there, and then put it there. And everything is good to go. And then, maybe just for the sake of doing so, we can have the outputs be green or something, yellow, not red. It'll be, you know what? It's going to be purple, all right? We're going to have it be purple there. And then we just need some more belts. So these belts go like that and like that. And I think that's everything except for the export. So the export needs to work its way to adjust the positioning on that. There we go. And done. No warning message, no nothing. There we go. That's how that rocks, okay? And then pallet shelves around the outside, I guess. We could put some, amenities here for the employees because there's a bunch of them now. So we can make sure they got like their water stuff and whatever here. And then, of course, a lot of storage, too, because we're going to be making a large quantity. So if we're ever overproducing, then that will help there. How come these aren't back further? Yeah, get back there. Oh, that one's not going to let me. Yes, it will. There we go. Yeah. Well, that's not even further back, is it? Yeah, right there is where I want it. Okay. You're being stubborn. I see. It's fine. I left enough room based on this, so it's okay. So those shelves will be around the edge like that. We could keep going with it, but it doesn't matter. There's so many shelves in here anyway. This is the solution. Okay. We have one employee for this whole setup, which then feeds to one output station. And this person's job is to bring things around the shop. And actually, we want to make sure that we're not overloading the output station as well. So the output station can handle 1 per minute. That's it. So if you're producing more than 1 per minute, you need more than one output machine. That's how that works. So let's see. We have 16 laser cutters. They're working at 30 minutes a piece. Actually, it might be easier to do this with polishing machines. 15 minutes to produce a piece, and there are 8 of them. So each one produces one every 15 minutes. That's 1/15th, right? And so if you add 8 of them together, that's 8/15ths. All right, so just a hair over 0.5 per minute. Basically half the capacity of this output machine. So we should be good to go there. No problem there. Likewise, here we have 8, and they take 15 minutes to produce. So the exact same thing is happening with this output station as well. Okay, so with that being said, let's get our stuff in place here. The factory is named Poor Man Incorporated because it's not Lexman, right? So Poor Man Inc. is our factory. Now, we're going to need a few things, but one of the things that's really pretty important is that we get everything else in stock. The work that's going to happen for the template, that's going to be happening at midnight, and then our logistics happens at 2 p.m. Or 2 a.m. Sorry, 2 a.m. So look at this, 8 million per week. Wow. Suck it, Ingrid. All right, so we're going to say in Stone Good Architecture, I already called him once. We're going to call him again because I need to make sure that the blueprint was ready. So Poor Man Incorporated, day is 290 on the install. And what we're looking for is my Cheap Jewelry Mega Factory V2. It's going to be $1.279 million for the install fee. So it actually ends up being just a little bit under 9.6 million to have this. Now I'm going to go ahead and confirm this. You may be thinking, hey, wait a minute. Your money up there is 1.5. What's going on, Charlie? Well, I have investments. I'm going to go ahead and order the payout on that. So now we're at 9.5 with no investments. And we're going to have that done. So what we're going to do, actually two things. We're going to say the logistics manager at warehouse 2 raw, okay? Sending the same products everywhere. We're going to add a destination. We're going to add the new clothing Poor Man Incorporated. Here it is. We're going to add Poor Man Incorporated, and we want to send metal bands here. Let's see. How about we keep, I don't know. I mean, we don't really need this many, but we're going to keep 4,000 metal bands in there. We really don't need that many. It's 3,000 is probably fine. It just depends on how much we're going to be making. So let's just play it higher. It's fine. Okay. So some kind of shortage in metal bands, we could still make them. And then we have the 5,000 uncut gems as well. So we're going to also have the 5,000 uncut gems go into that factory as well. So logistics will take care of that. Yeah. So let's go ahead and sleep till about 12:48. It's probably fine. We just want to make sure everything is good to go with that. We'll make quite a bit of money today as well. So we'll have plenty of money for this to happen. There we go. 1.3 million brought in. And Poor Man Inc. should have been done. Let's go ahead and double check that. Yes, the installation is complete. Okay, good. Also has some other people that want health insurance. So we'll have to do those things. Oh, and Christopher is going to be retiring on day 350. From the middle finger. Okay, no problem. So real quick check on the logistics here just to make sure that we have, I'm not sure we can actually check for capacity here in that view, but we can go here. Inventory, driver's factory. Maybe we can't. Oh, here it is. Yes, I want to see all the input stations in there, right? So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stations. So like 40 employees. God damn. I hate that. Okay. 40 factory workers are going to be required. That's nauseating, but we'll do it. Okay. We're going to have more HR to take care of that as well. At this point, I'm kind of feeling like whatever on the insurance thing, I'll deal with it later. I just want to hire everybody as much as I can. So we're going to say you... all the way up to, let's say, come on. Now, hold on. I don't even know if I can do this. Can I shift click these guys? Okay, good. I wasn't sure if it was let me shift click that many of them. We're going to say, I don't even know how many that is. I really don't know how many that is. I probably should count, right? Does it tell me how many are selected? It doesn't tell me how many are selected. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be right back. Okay, the answer is we had like 100 selected. Way too many. So unselecting the extras, we're working my way up because the way it's ordered, better skill is at the bottom. So I just have to uncheck all these names really quick. We're going to bring in, I think I counted correctly, we're going to bring in 40 employees into this place. It's possible I miscounted that, but we certainly don't need this many. There's like 100 plus here. Selected way too many. There we go. It might have been easier actually to just unselect and then reselect them manually at that point, but look at this. My gosh, what have I done? I made a grave error on my time here. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna say that many selected, hire and assign, and we're gonna bring them over to the Poor Man Incorporated. Oh, it did. It flat out told me 39 in that confirmation screen. Okay, cool. All right, anyway. So I might need one more, but we'll see. Okay, so now we want to go over to that Poor Man. Here it is. And schedule. And we just want to go like that, right? Just let the game do it. While the game is doing that, we are going to, I think, proceed a little bit more into time here. I want to make sure that we get... Yeah, I already got the message. It's fine. Let's make sure we get everything imported in there just fine. Okay. That should be okay. Let's read the results here. Expensive George. Yeah, okay. So if we come over to Poor Man now, inventory, we now have 4,000 metal bands in stock and 5,000 uncut gems in stock. And now the schedule's full. It's a little wonky. It's just a wee bit wonky here, but I needed 40 people. Yeah. All right. No problem. We're just going to go back. I had 39, right? I just get my 40th person here. You want a standard fridge. I can make that happen. I haven't actually done that in the blueprint. I messed up, kind of made a boo-boo there, but it's fine. We're just going to, go and buy it. It'll be okay. So poor man's schedule with one extra person. Go. And let's make sure we bring the refrigerator and all those other things that we're supposed to bring. Let's get a little bit of gaming time in. We'll need that as a pick-me-up for today. We'll get a 1-hour workout in real quick. 8:24 a.m. We'll get a tiny bit of sleep in to make up for that workout. And then I'll just be wasteful and have another meal. That's fine. All right, so now that we're fully charged and ready to rock at 8:55 a.m., let's head over to, I don't know, we can go to anywhere, I guess. No, I need to go directly to the factory. So what I want to do actually is get the refrigerator and those things. So I think the appliance store has the refrigerator. I know. Does it have the coffee maker? It doesn't seem to have a coffee machine. It's got a lot of the stuff I need, though, so we're going to go there. And then I think maybe it's going to be AJ's that has that. Or I could just straight up go to Ica. Yeah, I think we're just going to go to Ica. All right, let's just do that. We'll get everything at Ica, Bohag, and then I'll drive across the bridge. Drop off some of that stuff. Yeah. It's been a bit since I've been in this game. There is another game, though, that has some driving and a very similar view to this. You should see that video post tomorrow. And it's a very interesting indie game that I hope you'll appreciate the work that went into it anyway for such a small team. May not be your cup of tea, though. I guess we'll find out how you guys feel about it later. So let's go ahead and grab one of these carts. That's probably the most wasteful way I could have done that, because they're right here, And then I go inside. And they're also right here. Okay. So we're going to need a couch. Of some point. I really don't need this really expensive couch. Simple couch would have worked. Maybe modular sofa is cheaper, I think. Isn't there a very small... I thought there was like a very small 2-seater couch. Let's just get one of these. We'll go 1, 2. That'll take care of the couch thing that they need. We need a standard fridge. We need a cheap coffee machine. Then I'm going to grab like 2 cabinets there. We're going to need a water cooler. And that pretty much covers everybody's potential wants and needs in this area, I think. I don't think there will be anything else. I'm looking through, trying to see if there's anything else that they typically ask for. And it's not hitting me. If it's obvious, then it's not hitting me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably all they want in factories. 7 out of 8. I have room for one more thing. No, I don't think they're going to need anything. Okay. So let's grab these things. We'll put them in the truck. And we'll take them to the factory. And then we can check out the factory, configure the factory, and get it running right now. Now, what does this factory do for me, right? $9 million spent. Why? Right? It's not about making more money. I think this is a concept that some people overlook. It is not about making more money. True. We will make a higher margin with, that factory. And that margin directly translates to more profit. Okay? But there's another part of that, and that is the lack of imports. I'm saving on imports. That's the big thing, all right? Saving money can sometimes be more powerful than making more money. It just depends on the numbers, right? Obviously, it depends on how much. But at least in this game, and in life in general, we're going to have the same thing happen. But in this game, we got to give up 40% of every dollar we make. That's a lot. But we get to keep 100% of every dollar we save. So managing savings can be quite profound. Saving $1 is not the same thing as making another dollar, right? If we make another $1, we only get to keep 60 cents of it. So this kind of works both ways. It allows me to pay less at the import and therefore keep more of my money. Now, of course, I have the expense of the factory itself, but that expense is lower than the money I'm saving. So again, I'm spending more money over there, but I'm saving more money over here. And ultimately end up saving more money than I'm spending. Therefore, it's a net positive. And it's a net positive in a direction that doesn't result in a super big increase in taxes, right? If that makes sense. I mean, my margins certainly will, you know, I'm taxed on the revenue and then minus expenses, but where is it? I think you get it. The point is saving money is pretty good. All right, we should all adopt a saving money is a good thing ideology. Unless, of course, you can, you know, spend that money to make more money and then even more money. What am I talking about anymore? I have no idea. Get in here. Open this door. All right. Here's my factory. Now that I've talked your ear off and I don't even make sense anymore. Just trying my best to, you know, be entertaining, okay? This is going to be our break room over here. It's not the coolest place in the world, but you know what? It'll be something. These guys will love it. There's a water cooler over here. There's a cabinet here. They're both left ends. Lovely. You know what? We'll put the fridge right next to the couch. I don't like that. Let's put the counter right next to the couch. Put the fridge here. Okay. Everybody who wants that kind of stuff, regardless of who you are, you now have it. Okay. Now, here's the next thing we want to do. We got to go through these machines and configure them. I didn't do that in the blueprint very well. I did it here. I just want to verify and make sure that I did. The input station doesn't have it. So the input station needs to have uncut gems. Cheap. Okay. There's that. And we're going to go ahead and turn this on. That's going to get him or her. Doesn't. I don't know. I don't know who it is. It's going to get this person to go over and fetch them and get that whole process started. Okay. All right. Now we have all these as uncut gems cheap. Okay. These should be cut gems cheap. And you're an output station. So hopefully you work the way I expect you to, which is to say that you're going to box everything up and put it in the shelves. I can't determine what the output is here. It's not going to let me do that. So I'm hoping it works the way I intended it to in the blueprint. And if it doesn't, well, I'll have to make an amendment to this factory that'll probably be very costly and it would suck. Okay, so you can see how this one is automatically putting it's automatically putting that metal band. I don't want that. So you are going to be cut gems. Where is it? Polished gems. There it is. Polished gems is what you're doing. So hopefully you unpack this. And if you're not going to do that, then I'll have to do it. Put that over here, I guess. Manage storage. Yeah, I guess it's just a little bit of management there. This one's undefined. We want this to be the metal bands. So metal band. Okay, there you go. We're going to manage the storage real quick here. Take the metal bands off. Put them over on the shelf. There we go. And one more time. Take that. Here we go. Put it there. Very good. What are you holding in your hand? Is it more metal? Is that what it is? That's what it is, isn't it? Yes, it is. You have no idea what to do with it. You're just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Here's what you do. Undone, redone. Now, what happened to what she was carrying? No idea. But that's what happened to it. All right, you are going to be the polished gems. Polished gems, there you go. You are going to be metal bands. There we go. You are going to be polished gems. There we go. And then you are going to be the metal bands. This is why I colored them, so I know what I'm doing. Here we go. Polished gem. And I'm going to share this in the workshop too, but they're all going to be done. And we're going to have all of them, all the input stations and stuff, we'll have them selected. I just forgot to do it while I'm recording and have to make more work for myself, you know? All right. And then last one here is polished. Did I do polished gems over there or unpolished? unpolished isn't a thing, is it? It would just be uncut. Well, maybe it would be unpolished. I guess I don't know. I feel like I've seen unpolished in this interface, and I might have clicked it. It appears as though I did not. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Polished gems, and then you are just an output station. So how is this working? That's what I got to see. Do you take these things off of this pallet and put them on a shelf? And if that's the case, do they walk over, right, and take them off the shelves and put them in their polishing machines? All of these guys walking around with boxes, these are all the metal band people because they're already readily available. But I need to know whether or not this person is going to actually do what I expect them to do. But all of this is working just as it's supposed to. And then hopefully they just choose the closest shelf, which is right here. And then there's a lot more shelves in case they, you know, run over their limits or whatever. But I need to know whether or not this is going to work, because right now there's polished gems in there, but I think they don't actually deliver that to shelves until the box is full. But I don't know. I want to grab it right now and put it on a shelf. I want to, but I need to verify that this person is actually going to do what I expect them to do. So, I mean, there's not really no way to do that other than just waiting. I guess I could put time forward, right? We could put time forward. Let's just leave the car there. I was worried there wouldn't be. I was hoping there was a bench out here that I could just sleep in really quick, but I was kind of worried about that. All right, take me to the park. You, taxi cab. Take me to... I hate that I can't click the park. I have to click like my car or my house or whatever. Just take me home. It's fine. Take me here. There's no reason to sleep on a bench when your house is right there. Just sleep here instead. We're going to go to like 11 o'clock or so, because I just want to see it working. All right. Any taxi cabs? There's never a taxi in this town when you need it. Screw it. We're going to take our Hanzo over there. Nah, because then I'm going to have to deal with parking, and parking is probably not nearly as inconvenient as just trying to find a taxi cab in this city. Well, I'll keep walking. There it is. I'll keep walking until I find one, I guess. There we go. Stop him. And I want to go here, please. All right, let's see if there's anything in there now. Is there any indication that this area is working? So far, I don't see any of these machines working. Now, this is polished gems. Polished gems, polished gems, polished gems, polished gems. So these things are all set. Okay. You guys didn't see me set them, but that's because I set them in the plans. I did do that. There's still 184 there. So is it 200 per box? I gotta see him move. I'm gonna sit here and stare at him, as boring as that is, until he moves. All right, and I can see what happens, and then I'll bring you guys back in if that happens. Okay. Okay. So there's a little bit of a scaling problem here with this. It's 300 per box, and it does work. They took it off, they put it on the shelves, they brought it over, but it's one box, and the one station grabs the one box, right? So that's the problem here, is that I can grab, you know, let's say I grab all of this out of here and I put it on this shelf, right? What's going to happen? Well, they all race to go get it, but one person's going to grab all of it. And that leaves nothing for anyone else. You know, you might think, hey, they got something, but they don't. This is an empty box. So it's kind of glitched, because they're not actually going to put anything here. This person took it all. That's an issue. And there's got 292 in this station, and they got nothing in this station, and they're carrying empty boxes. So that's interesting. This is probably one of those things where I need to leave the factory and, you know, come back in a couple days, let it all propagate, right? Because this is going to take a while, right? It takes 15 minutes to produce one. So we're going to see, essentially, these boxes should be filling faster than this guy is. So as soon as the box shows up, I guess I don't know, because this guy here, he might take all of it again. I would hope not. But I guess we'll find out how this works. So we're going to go ahead and just back our vehicle out of here. And I'm going to go sleep for like 2 days. All right. And then we're going to come back and we're going to see how much, you know, poor man's actually produced. How much of the product that we're trying to sell they've actually produced. And then I also would like to check in and make sure that every station is producing, at least visually. Because otherwise, you know, yes, we're making them, but are we making them to capacity is probably not the case. I hate that this road is a one-way street. And the next one over is also a one-way street. So I'm just saying. And then there's no auto parking here because the lines are, it's like, it's not coded for that right now. I'm having a love-hate relationship with this game right now, okay? This is a salty episode. Apologies for that. It'll be fixed later, I'm sure. These guys are great devs. They'll have it done. I'm going to sleep until 6:10 in the morning the following day. So we're back to a Friday now. And I would think after this much time, there would be a lot of polished gems on the shelves, which have now been transferred to machines, of course. And so I would think anyway that if I looked here, I would see cheap jewelry, 105. That does not seem like it's scaling up, right? There's 1,000 polished gems, though. That's a good sign because it means there's a lot of those and they should be in the machines. I didn't get anything to eat. Doesn't matter. I mean, does it? I guess I'll eat. It's fine. Whatever. 36. I got 36 more in that fridge. Whatever. Hey, taxi, take me over there. I don't want to drive. All right. So let's check this out again. This time I'm hoping to see a lot more machines actually active here. So this person doesn't have anything. This person's got a bunch. They've got 790. You see what I'm saying? This is really, really weird. It's like they've grabbed all of it. And I have no idea how to stop them from doing that. It's very strange. So I guess if I do this, maybe I have to manually distribute this. And then they'll only go get it once it's done. I don't know, man. That's crazy. But yeah, this person who's closest to the storage, they just grab all of it. So I guess what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take them away from this person, since that person will have them all. We'll give some to you. And now we should see a lot more of these machines actually operating. And it looks like only you don't have anything yet. So I'll come over here. See what's in here for now. Oh, they just put the box there. I'm going to take it myself. So you guys can't have it. Yeah, and then I'm going to plop it in this machine. There we go. So now every machine has them. And I'm really hoping that means the simulation running will evenly distribute them. But I really don't know. It's a very big experiment. It's got to work this way. There's no other way for this factory to work because you can't cross belts. So I'm doing this as like a labor-heavy strategy in this case, and probably all these guys want freaking insurance or whatever, right? Yeah, still insurance. I do have what is it? 12 HR managers. I've got 2 people with silver, 2 people with gold, 4 people with bronze at various different price points, and just kind of filling them up. It's fine. And I wait until there's a bunch of them. You know, I don't do it right away. I've had people. Yeah, it's valid criticism. It's valid. You know, you don't have to micromanage it if you just give everybody insurance. I know, but it's not that much micromanagement because I'm only doing it like once every. I probably manage insurance. A total time commitment is something like 5 minutes for every 5 hours of gameplay or something. Like it's really not that much time. Okay, so I let it run a couple of days, and then I've come back to the factory just to kind of see how everything's balanced out. Got 247 in that machine, 197 over here. Come over here, you got 287 in that machine. So they are getting it, right? People are actually getting things that they need. This one's 156. This one over here is 113. It makes sense this one would have the least, it's the furthest away. But the important thing is that they're stacking up and they're getting things, and that's pretty good. I like it. So it's gonna happen to get us enough. I can speak. I swear. It's a day, man. This has been a day. Wow. It's gonna get to the point where we are at max capacity and nothing will matter. None of that stuff will matter. Some of you might be thinking, why doesn't he put more machines? Why not put more output machines and stuff? I can expand it. I can. You just have to remember that it's also more labor, but also like it's more cost for the machines and things like that. And I want to make sure that this works before I start investing even more money into it. So I can add more. The other thing I want to be careful of, though, is adding more production than I can sell, or more production than I'm selling. I want to have, as close to what I'm selling as possible, right? And, putting all that money to make more than I can sell it's just not very smart. Speaking of which, let's take a look at it. Poor Man Incorporated right now doesn't have any trucks either, so I can't deliver it anywhere. So I got to go get a truck. Probably should have done that before I taxied back to my house, but it is what it is. Jewelry cheap. There's 525 of them in stock here. It's Friday. Okay. We're going to want to make sure that this stuff, whatever's here, we want to make sure it gets to the warehouse by Sunday so that it gets into... I guess we have to do it by Saturday, right? I don't know when the order is actually locked in. So, you know what? We should probably make sure that's all done Saturday. Yeah, let's do that. So, because the order gets locked in on Sunday. So what we'll do is I'll come over and let's say 9:18 a.m. We do it this way. And then we go over. I need to grab a truck, bring that in there. And it doesn't have to be a big, expensive truck, right? It can be any truck, any vehicle, as long as we get it. So I'm thinking probably just... honestly, we could go to City Cars for this. I don't even think I need to go all the way to Industry City for that. We can go to City Cars for this. We only need a vehicle that... Like the truck. We could get a pickup truck for this. Right? Where is City Cars? I forget where it is now. It is right... I'm trying to guess. Here. Oh, that's just jeans. Ah, the next building over. Come on. I have it. All right. I still got it. All right. I'm going to see that's a very near miss. Let's make this a big yellow truck. It's fine. So we'll get a yellow pickup truck. And we'll throw the yellow pickup truck in that factory. And then we'll get a driver for that yellow pickup truck, which reminds me, we kind of need a headhunter to look for a driver now, don't I? So security guard, custom, factory workers. Let's stop that. Look for a driver, please. It doesn't have to be very skilled, because he's only driving a pickup truck. So it's fine. Just go ahead and do that. In the meantime, while they're looking for that, I'll bring the Vord V150. This isn't the wrong way. It's just not necessarily the right way. Yeah, we're just going to do it. Man, I missed this pickup truck. I missed the getup that it's got, the handling. Man, I you know what? I might say, even though the auto park is not there, I think I might go back to the pickup truck instead of the none of it, I don't think I'm going to drive around in a yellow one. It kind of feels like look at me, the yellow one. Not as much as a red car would be, but I don't know. My family car is a red car. Bright red car. So, I guess, I'm a red car driver, I guess. Yeah, I can't say that I'm not. And as I'm driving over here, I've realized something. Something profound just happened. It's Saturday, right? And that means my HQ people are not actually working right now, which means I won't actually have a delivery driver because nobody's searching for them, right? So, I got the vehicle delivered and that's fine, but it's not gonna matter. I'm gonna have to do this myself is essentially what's gonna happen here. So I probably will do that myself right now. Let's see what's on the pallet shelf right here. We've got 18 boxes of cheap jewelry. Now 19 boxes of cheap jewelry. And only carry one of them at a time. So tell you what we'll do is we'll grab one of these flatbeds here. And it would maybe be a slightly faster if my truck was parked there, but that's okay. We're just going to take all of the cheap jewelry manually out of this factory, and we're going to dump them into the warehouse. Okay, we're going to put them in this truck first. Oh, you will do it from up here. Oh, neat. Okay. I didn't think it was close enough. If I was right on the back of it, like the big trucks, I knew that was going to happen, but I thought I'd parked too far away for that. I guess not. Cool. So we're going to take all this stuff. I'm going to drop it in the warehouse. Warehouse 1 across the bridge. And it's not all of it. I could probably maybe do this again at some point here. Or, you know, what I also could do is just switch one of my logistics managers. Because we got to find another one of those too. That's in the queue. The headhunters have been told to do that too. But yeah, let's just get in the car. We'll get in the truck. We'll deliver it ourselves today. And that'll hopefully cut into the delivery that we have to buy at the docks, right? That's the whole idea. And I kind of want to see what the difference would be. What's the difference in, you know, how much I'm about to pay versus... Yeah. I just can't drive here, man. I'm out of it. Here, let's try this. Anybody coming? No? We're good? All right. Sweet. See you back over there. I want to compare the numbers, though, too. So we'll go ahead and do that, too. I'm a very impatient person, so I also damaged the truck on the way here. Let's go ahead and park this right now. We're going to grab the flatbed, and we'll grab all of these, or as many as we can. Okay, you guys can do the math here, because I'm probably bad at it, but we're going to go into our imports here. Bluestone imports, we are currently bringing in $604,000. And actually, I want to let this go to 6 because I think those numbers update every hour or something like that. So let me just go like this and 6. Okay. Now we want to go over to purchasing agent. Okay. So I guess it doesn't. $604,188. That's our current import. That's going to happen with Bluestone imports. Over $500,000 of this is cheap jewelry. That's why I'm doing this. Okay. We're trying to get to 6,000 supply as the target. We have 766 in the warehouse 1. That's where we are now. So when I put this in here and then I back out, grab this, put this in here, then I grab this, back out, put this in here. Okay. When we go and look at the numbers to try to see what we're going to be importing, we're going to take a look at cheap jewelry here. And now it says 1716. That directly relates to how much we're going to try to import, which brings down the cost. So already this warehouse, this new factory, and it hasn't been very long, but it has already saved me $100,000. Well, I mean, kind of, because I had to bring in the raw materials, but the raw materials were a lot cheaper. Realistically, it's probably saved me somewhere in the ballpark of, let's say, $70,000 already, right? That's the power of factories. It's not like it's going to make you money. And yeah, it has a really high upkeep cost, but that's pretty good for having only been set up for a few days. That's pretty good. And that will keep happening. And it'll happen more streamlined as we, get this truck, which I've already beat up a little bit. I probably don't even need that cart because this is going to go back into the... I'm going to bring this back to the warehouse.